All right. Well, we're gonna have some video to cut off of that for sure. All right. So, hi, my name is Christiane Knight. If you are not familiar with me, I am an author as well as many other assorted things that don't pay the bills. I am located in Baltimore, Maryland, and I write about my hometown in my stories, which are urban slash contemporary fantasies set in Baltimore with a slightly askew sort of perspective of Baltimore, and that there is magic and fae here, although most of the people who live here don't know that. So if you're familiar with my books, you know the deal, but I'm figuring some people may be watching this and not be aware. Anyway, you'll find that in my books, a lot of the things that show up are things that I have done in my life, which include being in a band, DJing, um, graffiti art, just all kinds of things like that. Like I tend to seed my stories with my interests because I can write about them extensively and it's fun. Also, all of my books have soundtracks, harkening back to my time as a DJ and the fact that I think in music. So every chapter will have a song that goes along with that part of the story and kind of gives it a little more depth. Um, Usually, the lyrics, if you look at the lyrics, they'll pertain to the storyline in some way. I'm here today because I have a bunch of things to talk about. One of the things that I do normally is I have a coffee account. You may be familiar with coffee, KO-FI coffee. That is, it's a version of the kind of thing that you do with Patreon, but I like the platform better. Um, it is cheaper. It is, I get more money back from it. It takes almost nothing of what I earn. I sell my books directly through there, and I also have supporters. And for my supporters, I have a membership system. So if you support me there, you can get different perks. And one of the perks that I have is something called State of the Xiane. The Xiane is me. That's one of my nicknames. Um, State of the Xiane is where I break down the things that I've been up to during the week, which includes what I've been reading, what I've been listening to, and what I've been doing. Usually I have it in a bullet list and I have lots of links and just things to help connect, like one of the things I'm really known for is being extremely transparent and open about who I am and what I do, because why not? Um, it's all in my books anyway. And I think that having that kind of connection with me is fun and beneficial. And since one of the things I feel really strongly about is supporting other authors and creative people, I feel that that openness allows them to come and ask me questions and for me to assist them in the ways that I possibly can. Um, I mean, I'll be honest, I am nobody in the writing world. I have been a published author since 2021. I've done pretty well with it. I have 3 books and out and also some poetry in a book that was published this year. And that's not too bad, right? I have sold enough to be an associate member of SIFWA, which is the Science Fiction and Fantasy Writers of America or Association. They just changed it recently to be more inclusive with everybody because it's not just America anymore. Um, and this is a good thing. I have pretty steady sales. I do a lot of speaking. You wouldn't know because I'm kind of rambly today. I have notes, but I'm only sort of referring to them as I go just to keep me on track. Speaking engagements, I do a lot of, though. I do cons, conventions, both literary and fan-based conventions where I talk about writing and tropes and things like that. And I'm going to be talking about that in a minute, where you can come and hear me, some of which is online and free. So you can hear me talk about all kinds of random things with other interesting people. Um, but coffee is great because I can make this connection with the readership and the people who support me and keep them updated so that they feel invested in what I'm writing in my career. And I can keep in touch with them by encouraging them to comment and find out what it is that I'm talking about that is interesting to them so I can elaborate on it more if I want to. Also, it's really fun if I'm out and about to meet up with people like that and talk about my books, the books that they like. Maybe if they're writing a book, talk about that process too. It's just really neat. I like that availability, which is why I do videos like this because I am a yapper. And so I yap. Let me see. Let me check my notes before I just kind of go on and on and on. If there are comments also, feel free if you can. I don't know if I enabled it. You can butt in if you're here and just say hi, whatever, put your mic on or drop it in the comments and I'll try to check on that. Let's see. So things I was going to talk about today. Okay, well, one of the things I wanted to mention talking about coffee is that I sell my books on Amazon, places like that, but I also sell it through coffee. And there's a reason for that. It's because, well, there's several reasons. A, I get make more money. Books through coffee shops offers a unique avenue beyond the typical. All of a sudden, my phone just started answering questions for me that I did not ask. So I just fixed that. Anyway, so I sell my books through coffee. And that allows me to directly send them to people who want to buy them. I can sign them. I can include cute little things, which I do. I have bookmarks and postcards and things like that. But most importantly, I take myself out of that Amazon process and sell directly to you. My books are at this current point published through KDP. I'm looking to change that. I'm also taking a lot of the process of publishing back into my own hands. I had hired some folks before to help me who were fantastic. But I think I'm at the point now where I can start doing those things on my own, which is really exciting because if I can do them, then I can also help other people do them. I just hired an editor for the next book that I have coming out, which I will talk about in a second, which is super exciting. I worked with her on my last book, A Third Kind of Madness, and we got along fabulously. She understands the way that I think and the way that I write and is super encouraging. So I'm super excited about this. Super. Anyway, speaking of this book, so I have this new book that will be coming out hopefully by the end of the year, maybe. It's called A Small Light in the Darkness, and it is not a fae-based book. It is a science fiction book, which is what I grew up reading and writing. Science fiction and fantasy, but science fiction first, really. I grew up in a house full of books, and pretty much everything that my parents bought, I also read because I'm a voracious reader and I get bored easily. So I eat books like potato chips. So I read everything, like hard science fiction, fluffy science fiction, fantasy of all kinds, romance, all this stuff, and whatever was laying around, usually things that were way too old for me, but that was okay because if I didn't know something, I'd either figure it out or I'd learn about it later and then go, oh, that's what that meant. Anyway, so this is a science fiction book. And I was sitting up last night trying to write a little synopsis for it without giving away anything, which is really it's so hard. It's not one of my strongest points because on one hand, I really want to hold everything close and be like, but I want you to be surprised. And on the other hand, you have to know something to want to buy it, right? So my synopsis that I came up with last night, such as it is, and this is not going to be on the back of the book, but this is for you, this is a story about Tristan. Tristan has a habit of reaching out to strangers for connection. When she puts an ad in a future version of Craigslist, she ends up in a deep conversation with a mysterious but compelling stranger who she calls Fomohawk. Things quickly escalate after a fire caused by a lightning strike at Foe's work begins to expose the secrets of what goes on at the lab where he works. Dun, dun, dun. And if you get some kind of Frankensteinian vibes there, go with it a little. As I said, my first science fiction story that I'll be putting out, and Fiona, my editor, is going to be working with me on this, and she's great. So this will be exciting because I don't know what to expect with this. It's just going to be so much fun. It's also, like I said, the first novel I'm going to be doing all on my own. So I have made mock-up book covers before. I'm perfectly fine at doing that kind of layout and design. I've done design, not professionally, casually for years and years and years. I used to do zines and things like that. So I'm not unaware of how it works. It just, I didn't take school for it or anything. I just have an artist eye. So hopefully I will make a decent book cover. I may or may not get art for it, or I may do something on my own. I promise you it will be high quality because I am that asshole. I don't want to have my name on something that looks like crap. Because that's professional. You want the book cover is the first thing that people see. You want it to look good. I have out there are some of my mock-ups that I've done, and people have been like, oh, that looked like a real book to me. Well, again, I don't half-ass it too much. I'm also going to be learning all the things like the typesetting and layout on the inside. I have a program for that I have to learn. Because why not? I have all this copious free time to be learning all these programs. Yeah, so this is exciting. Like I said, once I've learned all these things, then I can start maybe helping some other people with them too. One of the things I feel strongly about is I'm a big proponent of DIY within your abilities. Things you should hire people for are the things that you cannot do, and you have to be honest with yourself about it. If I make a book cover or a couple of tries at a book cover and I'm like, this is crap, I'm going to hire somebody who is a professional. But I know that my abilities are good because I have done these kinds of things before, so I'm not worried about it too much. You want to try to do what you can if you can. Time is limited, energy is limited, but I think that at least trying your hand at it gives you a great appreciation for the professionals who do this. And I think it's really important that you pay everybody that you can and try to lift up everybody that you can that's in this creative industry, because times are tough right now, as we all know, and it's really bad for the creatives. So like I'm not rich by any means. If you know me, I am very, very poor. I am disabled. I don't work. This is the only thing that I do because my body will not let me do regular jobs. But I still believe that it's important to pay people money for things because these are important jobs. That means I don't farm it out to AI. It means that I don't steal artwork or any kind of work from other people. I either do it myself or I get somebody to do it and I pay them fairly. I had a point I was going to make here and I kind of got head up about it and then I've sort of lost my way. But like some of the things that I've done, the cover for this, and this is my personal copy, so it's the proof. It's got the big thing over it. But like this design, I did the work on this. It's not, it's pretty good. I think I've gotten lots of compliments on it. So I feel good about that, What was I going to say? Well, the other news about books is that I am about 23,000 words into the next Illyrianan book, because you must have multiple projects going on at all time or you'll die, Chris, you will. So not only do I have that going on, but I also have short stories that I'm writing for a collection of short stories about Illyrianan side characters that did not get as much attention in the books. And this is really fun because a lot of them are mortals, but not all of them will be. And most of them will be ones that maybe you've wondered about, or people have asked me about, and I've said, wait and see. So I have a couple of those in process now while I'm writing the novel as well. Because like I said, why not more projects? Why not? What else am I doing but moldering away? And that's been pretty fun. The nice thing about doing multiple projects is that if I get bogged down on one, I can switch to the other and I don't feel bad because they're all important. The short story, hi Tracy. The short story projects are really easy to pick up and write a little bit on. They're kind of like potato chip projects, like I can snack on them a little bit. And then once I feel a little more motivated, I can go back into the big novel, which has been a thing lately because it's really hard to write sometimes when the world is exploding all around us. It's an escape, but it also comes and bears down on you and your psyche. So sometimes I'll just sit there and stare into space for 20 minutes at the computer, and I'm like, well, I'm not going to get anything done on this. So why don't I try this one, which is more fun at the moment? Yeah, so like having multiple projects is a good thing. For the novel that is coming up, some people have asked what it's about, and there's a big focus on two characters in particular. Um, there is a focus on Emmeline, who I adore as a character, and she's going to be getting some really fun things happening with her, and also on Karsten, because we really need to clear up some stuff about Karsten and their past. So very excited about that. And Tracy, you look fine. It's great. I see your eyes at least. So there we go. I mean, I just kind of probably notice I've done nothing with anything because I'm a mad woman and just, hanging out here talking about books as I do. Um, One of the things I'm looking forward to in the future, and not too soon in the future because this ties in with the editor thing, I'm going to be making some cool things for people to buy if they're interested in, because I need to raise money for paying editors. Um, like I said, I pay people and they expect to be paid for some strange reason, right? So I'm going to make some limited edition boxes with the books and different merch that I will make to go along with them. I am going to be offering some things like tarot readings and creative oracle card readings for people who are looking to work on projects and maybe want some breakthroughs, to be determined. I have a lot of things that I work with personally when I'm looking for insight. One of the things that I like is this thing called the Sovereign Oracle, and of course it's reversed, but it is an oracle that just kind of gives you different cue cards. Like this one says, play, make it a game, ask your inner child. So using those in tandem with tarot often gives me kind of breakthroughs when I'm struggling with something. I use them extensively to help me with the character and some breakthroughs that about what I wanted to talk about with this character. Because sometimes you just need something to knock your head out of the thought path that you've been on. And you can't do that if you don't get new input. And since there's only a few people I talk to about when it comes to my stories, sometimes I need outside input. And even if that outside input is actually a different part of my brain, then that is valid. And tarot cards and oracle cards are a really great way to access that part of your brain that you're not necessarily connecting with actively. It can give you great insight. But it's also really great if other people do it for you, because they can call you on your shit when you're trying to deny things. And they can also give you insight that you probably know but haven't really faced up to. So that will be something that I'll be offering in the future, a very soon future, to help me fund my editors. Another thing that I'm working on, which is really fun, is I'm doing annotation on my books. And this came out of, there's a book talker that did a whole thing where he was going through I know Stacy's still here. She's the one who showed me it. Um, he was going through his books and like that he loved and doing annotation on them. And we were like, what a great idea if I did that on these and like put like highlighted the things that I liked the most and give background and personal insights on some of the quotes. So you can see like I started on the second book first because since I'm working with a lot of the characters out of here and like the developments that came from this part of the storyline, I wanted to go back and refresh my memory and also work on this at the same time. And I am about a third of the way through. And as you can see, as a third of the way through, there are so many tabs. What I did was I have a guideline. You'll enjoy this. Each one of my characters who has like a main influence on the story has their own color for highlighter and a tab. Um, I don't use the highlighters predominantly on the pages because I don't like the way they look. It's harder for me to read the text when I highlight over it. So I'm cupping them with the highlighters and then using a tab of the right color to go around and sort of, you know, make sure that I see it. And let me see if I can find a page where you can see that in action. It's really hard to see. Like I said, it's not flashy because it's for me, but you can see like there goes something out of my book. I've cupped around the quote and put the correct color tab. And these are all my colors. So many tabs. But what that will do is when I'm finished, is that it will highlight everything that I want to talk about. And then I'll go through and I'll create all of those comments. And I don't know how that's going to come about as like a publication. Eventually, I'm going to figure it out as I go. But I want to do that and release that in some way for readers because I think it's really neat. And as was pointed out in the comments, that this has been done before by our unmentionable author that everybody liked and turned out to be a shitheel. But yeah, it's a really fantastic thing to get that background insight because I can sit here and make videos and talk all day about my characters and why they think the way they think and why they've done the things that they've done. But not everybody sees these things. Putting it into a book and seeing it on the page is a lot different. Also, it's really fun for me because I love these characters and I love the world, the container of the world and the storyline. So talking about it in any way is exciting to me, and being able to revisit those stories and like really think about those motivations and the background, or give y'all clues about where these thoughts came from, because a lot of it came from my past and my history kind of distilled down into these characters, is really fun to share. So that's a project for the future, but nag me about it because I find I can do a bunch of chapters at a time, but I have to sit down and actually do it and concentrate on it. And it's a little hard because I can't do it while something else is going on. A lot of things I do, like I'm a multitasker. And so a lot of times I'll have the TV on and then, you know, like I'll be doing stuff on the computer. This I have to pay full attention to. And I just saw in the comments, I think Stacy said that she wants a Fae cookbook, and I won't eliminate that possibility because we know Cullen is a really good cook. I actually had contributed a recipe from Cullen to the collection of recipes in the holiday Strong Women, Strange Worlds event that happened. They had a handout with all these different things, and Cullen contributed a recipe to that. And that was super fun because he got to write commentary about the recipe as well as like make it. And if you follow me on Coffee and you didn't see that or have it, let me know and I'll send you a copy because it's super fun. Let's see. Another thing that I do a lot of is appearances, which I don't get paid for, but they're really fun. Hopefully I sell some books while I'm there, but I get to talk about things like writing and my characters, but mostly writing. I'm doing so much. I didn't realize just how packed my schedule is for summer. Summer is always like the big time for literary events, and there's a hoop ton of them happening. So first of all, I've got Balticon coming up. Balticon is a literary convention that happens here in Baltimore, right at the end of May. This year it is happening May 23rd through 26th. This is my second year as a panelist person. I've also done virtual panelist shifts for them too. But it's been amazing. I really enjoy it. I am going to be doing 2 different quick readings there, as well as the panels I will be on are Happy Mind, Happy Writer, which is, I love talking about mindset and writing. So this is a great panel. It's Never Too Late to Start Your Writing Journey. As I started in my 50s, when the idea for that panel came up, I was like, me. Both because I started in my 50s and I started after I almost died. So, I mean, great motivator, right? Lots of things to talk about. I am also on a panel called Making Your Readers Care About Your Characters. I think I might be okay with that one. Building community to survive your writing journey. Really important, and one of the keystones of what I talk about, building community. So these are all fantastic panel picks, and I'm very, very pleased with my schedule. I don't think, oh, thanks for being here. I don't think that I'm going to be doing any virtual panels for this one. If you're in the Baltimore area, it does cost to come to Balticon, but it's completely worth it. It is, if you are interested at all in writing, it is fantastic for picking up lots of tips and details. People are very generous with all of the information they have to offer. And I mean, like, there's panels all day and night, and there's other topics besides writing too. I mean, there's all kinds of, there's deep discussions about fandom, about tropes, about music, because there's a big filking community there, about costuming, all kinds of things. There's even a great science track. There has been forever at Balticon. So if you're in the area, I would definitely say check it out. I think that their URL is balticon.org, but if you look it up and look up Balticon, it'll come up. It's the only convention named that. After that is the Nebulas Conference, which I'm not going to in person, but I will be probably be doing a virtual panel. I don't have any assignments yet, so I will keep you informed as to what happens. Thank you for loving my soundtracks. Thank you so much. Let's see, and Nebula's Conference is also not free. But another one, if you're interested in writing, it is really great for that. Really deep discussions there. The panelists are always amazing. It's frustrating actually, because it's really hard. Sometimes a lot of the best ones are scheduled against ones that I'm in, or you'll have 2 really amazing ones scheduled against each other, but they allow you access for a year afterwards if you pay for the virtual con. So after that, so we have May, June, July. I'm doing a conference that is free. I'm pretty sure it's free. It is the Right Hive Annual Conference, and I'm going to be on a panel about how to self-publish on a budget. Again, in my wheelhouse, because I'm a poor person, and I'm working on all these different things for taking care of all of the self-publishing, and I'm very strong when it comes to DIY tips. That is happening July 11th through 13th, and you can find out more about that at righthive.con.org. So right, like the right, and hive, HIVE, con.org. I will put links in all, and when this is going to be up on, it should be, hopefully it worked where I'm streaming it to YouTube. If not, I will put it up on YouTube, and I'll make sure to put in links in the comments so that people can see all the links. And And registration for that opens on June 1st. So then after that, it's August and I have another event. Imagine that. This is another local one. It is called Book Fair at Bel Air. And last year was the first year that it was held, and I did that, and it was a great little event. It's about 40, maybe a little bit more writers. So it's not a huge event, and it's mixed genre. So there's a lot of romance writers there and romanticy type writers. Really good. Lines out the door for those folks. It was amazing. Um, it is at the Armory in Bel Air. Which is cute, super duper cute. Stacy's dropping in links in the chat for people. Thank you, Stacy. Stacy's just the best. Anyway, Book Fair at Bel Air is really cute. If you've never been to downtown Bel Air, it's outside. It's in Harford County, so it's one county over from Baltimore County. About a 20-minute, 30-minute drive from my house, not too far. The Armory is really neat. It kind of looks like a castle on the outside. The inside, it's got really good ventilation. It has a ramp, so it's accessible. Yay. It has decent parking all around. There's street parking or parking around at the school around the corner. There's also other cute little shops in the area. It's free to get in. They have kids events too. I recommend it highly. And that is happening on August 23rd. Yeah, Bel Air has a nice tea room. Yes. Yeah. And we'll have snacks and stuff at the event too. But yeah, like there's everything there. You can come and get books and then go have tea and just wander around and look at all the cool things. It's just a really nice, like laid back groove happening there. Really enjoyed it last year. And the people who run it are extremely nice. So as soon as they said they were having it again, I was like, ooh, me, because to get local events that happen that are good, it's key. Let's see. So yeah. That's what I've got on the schedule for now. There may be some other things coming up. Last year it happened that a lot of things popped up suddenly for me, some of which were really unexpected, like doing the Baltimore Book Fair. Be really great if something like that happens again. I don't expect it, but I would welcome it if anyone's listening. Yeah, so I'll keep you updated on that. You can follow my coffee without doing any support. That's fine, and you'll get that information. Tracy, bye, and thank you for coming from Shore House to say hello. Tracy is the owner of Shore House, which is our Bay on the East Coast offshoot. Anyway, after all of this going on, I have other things happening, because imagine that. One of the things that I've been working on, and Stacy knows about this, and some other people may have known a little bit about it, but I haven't talked about it much because I'm still in the process of putting it together. But I've been working on curriculum for folks who are getting into writing, specifically self-publishing, although there is plenty of information for people who are going the traditional route as well. And want to do this in a way that is in alignment with their ethics, right? Because if you're like me, I am strongly anti-capitalist. I have very, very strong morals about this. Yes, of course, I want to get paid. There's nothing wrong with getting paid. Commerce is not the same as capitalism. I am not looking to screw anybody over or make more than I deserve. I just want to be paid fairly for what I do and have people appreciate the work that I do. Those are the things that motivate me but more than anything, I want to bring my stories into the world and help other people tell their stories. And one of the ways that I thought to do that was to assist other people by sharing my knowledge. I do that freely, but I also know that for some people, having everything written down in easy step-by-step, like a curriculum that you can work through at your own pace kind of thing, is extremely helpful for them. I glean a lot more from things that are written down than I do from, say, videos. Um, Video learning is kind of the bane of my existence, actually, because I tend to wander off. Um, I have the ADHD brain, just like, oh, I can do all these other things while I'm watching this, and then I don't really absorb the way I should. So like having the words as well as videos is really important, and being able to go back and access them or download them so that I own them is really important. So what I wanted to do was set up this curriculum, which I'm calling Emergence, because it's about letting yourself emerge from the chrysalis of being somebody who wants to write and publish to being this writer person, but doing it the way that you want to do. And I'm taking all this and I'm putting it down into a format where you can go through and learn and download all your worksheets and all the things that I've said, and like take all the text and whatever and keep it forever. And it's a pay as you go kind of thing. So you pay through Coffee once a month for access, but there's no limits. Like as I put stuff up, you can rampage through everything and do it in a month. Right now I don't have enough to like make that viable. It's coming. But when it's up, people can take from it as long as they want. They can be subscribed as long as they want, or drop out after a month. I don't care. I just make it so that I get a little bit of pay for the effort that I've done, and then people can get what they need out of this education. I think it's really important that people pay a little bit, because at least because people value things more when they have to put that little bit of work in. Not to mention, I deserve to get paid for doing all that effort, right? Right. Um, the whole point of it is I want people to be able to build a sustainable and ethically aligned career where they're not feeling like they have to do things like do the song and dance on the internet to sell their books. If they want to, that's great. Some people love making reels. I do not. I like this kind of format where I can come and chat at you. It's even more fun if we can talk back and forth, but like I said, I'm a yapper, so I can talk. Um, I don't want to have to post 8 million things on Instagram or Facebook or whatever. Like, that's not my jam. So when I get all of this information from other people, and they're like, well, you have to do this, you have to have a newsletter, you have to have this, you have to, those things are all great. They're not necessary. They're helpful, but you're not going to fail if one of those things does not appeal to you or makes you like, oh, I don't want to make a newsletter. There are other ways to do it. And so I'm trying to give education that approaches everything like that. Like, you don't have to do these things. These things would be helpful. Here's some alternatives that will make you maybe feel more in alignment. You don't have to sell your soul to sell your books. You don't have to do a song and dance to sell your books. You don't even have to sell your books. I mean, like, maybe you just want to write. Maybe you feel that pressure from everybody. Well, if you're going to write, then you need to sell it. You don't have to do that either. I'm going to cover all these things. And I'm also going to talk about things like mindset and how to not put all of your value into what you do, because that's really easy, especially as you start to get some sort of notoriety as a writer. It becomes really easy to fall into the trap of I got a bad review, I'm shit, everything I do is shit, my life is shit. That's not how that works. At that moment you feel that way, but that's not true. And that is the kind of that goes along with that capitalist sort of mentality, and the way that we're forced to think of ourselves as this thing that we do that is all an asset to like get us further ahead. First of all, like, writing is subjective. Your stories are subjective. Your worth is not based in one person's review of your writing. Also, you don't have to put your work out there to be reviewed if you don't want to. You could share it freely. You can do a Patreon and dribble it out to people who support you. You can put it on AO3. I mean, like, there are just so many different ways you can approach this. So I'm going to talk about all of that. And I'm going to use myself as an example for the things that I've done, but I'll also use some examples of things that I've seen from other people. Hopefully, eventually, I'll have other people who have had success in their measurement of what success is come and talk to people about why they feel like it's a success and what they did to make that happen for them in a way that made them feel good. But like I said, for now, it'll be about me and what I've done and what I have not liked and what I have liked and what I found to be successful for me, because I am my number one case study. And if you are interested in that, again, it's at Coffee. You can go and check out, you get access to it under the writing portion of my membership. But you can also message me through there and say, hey, I'm interested, but I don't know what's going on. And I'll send you some stuff that I've written from there so you can check it out. Because, like I said, I'm accessible like that and I will help you. And I have to take a drink because I'm dying. Iced tea to the rescue. Yeah, so that is a thing that's been happening. I was just talking about how I love to talk on video. And it's really funny because I had a podcast, right? I mean, technically, I still have a podcast, but I haven't touched it in maybe a year. In part, that's because too much was happening and my energy is really limited and I have not been feeling very well lately, which makes my energy really limited. But also it became a giant drag. And one of the most important beliefs that I have is if it's no fun, don't do it. It's that whole like, is it a fuck yes? Because, or is it a fuck no? Because if it's a fuck, if it's not a fuck yes, then it is a fuck no. Only do it if you feel really, really inclined, like you really, really want to do this thing. And I don't feel that way about that podcast right now. Maybe later, yes. So that's on the back burner. But I want to keep doing videos like this where I just randomly pop in and chat because they're fun. And sometimes when I do these, because I map them out really lightly, I get breakthroughs too. One of the biggest ways that I have breakthroughs in my writing and just in the way that I think is by talking stuff out. And I don't always get that chance with people face to face. So doing it through video is the next best thing, because I know that you are listening now or are listening in your time that you are listening to it online. That is not while I'm talking right at this moment, in the future. And just knowing that helps to kick in that part of my mind that starts thinking through things. So it's important. Like, I like doing these kind of video chats. So expect some of those in the future. And I don't know if they'll get ported anyplace else besides YouTube and like my website, so we'll see. I will be picking back up doing the chapter by chapter reads of my stories. When? Soon. I just did a reshuffle of everything in my room. This is where I do everything. And I have my recording station over here. The problem with doing those kind of readings is I really need to do them at night because there's less sound. I don't have a soundproof area or anything. And just ambient sounds from everywhere cut in. If there's like a big loud car goes down the street, you will hear it. So I want to try to make it like ambient and lovely. And I like when the room is dark, it's nicer also. We're talking. I mean, technically I could not do them on video too, but that doesn't fix the sound problem, which is sound comes through from the street. So I have to get to a place where I'm a little awake enough at night to be able to record them. Probably sometime in June, maybe after I get through the nebulas, because those two things, Balticon and the nebulas, are like my big things hanging over me that I have to take care of. Once I've got all that straight, then I'll have a little more energy. It's so funny because before I got sick, I could have done all this stuff like bam, 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 bam. But I have to dole it out a little bit more now and be cautious about not overdoing things. I have a really bad problem with overestimating what I can do these days. It sucks because I used to be able to do so much and now I can only do so much. But anyway, yes. So the readings, the chapter by chapter readings will be coming again. I promise. I promise. And believe it or not, that is about all that I had on the subject to talk about. Like, I don't see anything else in my notes, so that's everything I wanted to talk about. I don't know if anybody else is still in the chat. Let's see. I've still got M and Stacy, and I don't know if you guys have anything that you want to ask or like anything I should chat about before I wrap this up, because I got nothing to do. Drink water. I have water. I have water. I've got water and iced tea. The iced tea helps my throat to not get sore, and the water keeps me hydrated. Water, for some reason, does not fix the sore throat thing. It just sort of slides down. So annoying. It's better than when I was singing and like my voice would just grog out. I need one more drink for proper beverage goblin life, M says. That is true. Yeah, it's weird. Normally, I always have at least two drinks. I always have water and like tea, or water and maybe a smoothie. I don't really drink much else but water and tea or smoothies, like, every once in a while. I had a really good, I went to a Japanese cafe, Japanese style, like they specialized in matcha. And they had strawberry milk, and I sucked that right down. Yeah, ginger and honey are good. I like the honey, the Ricola honey lemon drops, but they only make them in sugar free now, and I can't do sugar free. So I'm really sad. I have a little stash of them, and when they're gone, I'm going to be so sad because I don't know where I'm going to get them anymore. I have some other honey drops on the side that are Manuka honey, but I don't know how good they're going to be. Ricola, bring back my drops. They're like the lifesaver. They're the best cough drops. They really just like knock out the sore throat thing. I've had a sore throat problem since like, I don't know, since like the 90s. Part of it is allergies, and part of it is just, I don't know, my throat is weak. Weak. Yeah, like the Stacy mentions the eucalyptus thing. I don't want eucalyptus in my cough drops. I don't want that. Like, that's too much. I don't mind the smell of it. I just don't want to. Ooh, she's allergic, so that's no good. I'm not allergic. I think the only thing I'm allergic to that could possibly show up in a cough drop is papaya, which would be bad. There's a really, really big link in the chat that I'm going to have to make sure. uh, and mentions that our throats have suffered some abuse from being sick so much. I'm going to like leave it at that. The link is huge, but that's okay. I'll get to it when I'll take a look at it when we're done chatting. Ricola honey. I'll have to see if that's good. Because like most of the regular Ricola drops, they've got something in them. It's something that's just too strong for me. It's too herbal, like too many things. Um, I like really simple flavors when it comes to that stuff. The older I get, the simpler I want everything to taste, and I don't want things as sweet as I used to, which is really weird. Trying to think if there's anything else I can tell y'all before I go. Any any questions? Story questions? Life questions? Writing questions? Why are my roots so long questions? That's because I'm lazy. Um, yeah, I don't like the original Ricola herb cough drops. I was saying I need to look at the honey ones and just make sure they don't have anything else is gross in there. And wants to know, how is Babby formed? Very carefully. I'm so pleased with myself. I don't know what else to talk about, y'all. I guess I should probably wrap it up. I have all of my very carefully, maybe for your family. I can take my little squishy and go squish it and like look for this to upload. I recorded this, so if the things don't work out on YouTube, I can upload it there. And I will also have it on my website, which is christianknight.com, which like the people who are in chat already know that, but in case somebody else is listening who doesn't. Put it in all the places, Stacy says. Yeah, that's one of those things that's like, fine, fine. I guess I'll do what the internet tells me to do and put the stuff in the places. I really wish it was easier. I really do. I mean, like there are some things out there, some uh apps and stuff that will repost to different places, but none of them are easy. And also most of them are not free. And we've established I'm poor, so like I don't want to pay for extra stuff. Um, like most of the places that I post these days are Blue Sky and a couple of Discords, and you know, really, what else? My coffee. I didn't even put this in my newsletter because newsletters are. I have a newsletter with like over 1,000 people on it, and I hardly ever post on it because it's hard, it's work, and I don't feel it. So, and it's okay because I still sell books and do stuff, right? That's that is what I'm talking about. You don't have to do all the things. You can just do some of the things. You can do some of the things that feel like the things that are the things you want to do. I'm babbling now. It's time to go. Okay, y'all. This has been super fun, and I really appreciate everybody who came out. And big shout out to Em and Stacy because they were here, and Tracy for dropping in, even though she didn't feel great. I love you guys. I love everyone who's listening because without you, I wouldn't even be doing this. Why would I do this? Right? Right. Anyway, talk to you next time. Bye, everybody. If I can, stop this.